Okay, we're going to work through lesson 7 today. So the focus of the second day of unknown angle problems is problems with parallel lines crossed by a transversal. Pause there for a second. I want to make sure you remember parallel lines, and we know they're parallel because I have a little arrow here, and a transversal. Okay, a transversal is just a line that crosses two lines. This is the transversal. And then the other thing I want to make sure I read over are these two bullet points. If two lines are cut by a transversal and corresponding angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. Okay, this is what we're going to learn today. I've got corresponding angles are equal. Okay. It's not the correct way to signify it, but just going through some ideas. So, if two lines are cut by a transversal and the angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. Or we could say, if parallel lines are cut by a transversal, the corresponding angles are equal. So you either go from angles being equal to lines being parallel, or lines being parallel, therefore angles are equal. Our opening exercise. This is your warm-up. I'd like you to try this one on your own. I'm going to push pause in a second and just see what you can figure out. Okay, go ahead and push pause. That was a long warm-up. If you look, I've tried to color code everything. First I found X. I knew that if this was a perpendicular angle, then this is a perpendicular angle. So the measure of both of these should add together to give you 90 degrees. I solved for X. Next, the blue. So these two angles are vertical, therefore they're equal. One is Y, one is 2x minus 8. So I know that 2x minus 8 equals Y. X is 30. I can solve it for Y equals 52. Now you may have solved this a different way, and that's perfectly acceptable. Let's go on to the green. The green was find the measure of angle BOF. I saw this straight line. You may also see this straight line. Either one would work great. I used this one. I said that 2x minus 8 plus angle BOF plus 4x minus 24 is equal to 180 because it's a straight line, and I solved it. Okay, so given line AB and line CD in a plane, so we have line AB and line CD in a plane, a third line EF is called a transversal. So this right here is called a transversal. If it intersects segment AB and at a single point and intersects segment CD at a single but different point. Line AB and CD are parallel if and only if the following types of angle pairs are congruent or supplementary. So let's do the congruent ones. The first says corresponding angles are equal in measure. Corresponding angles are going to be like A and E because they're in the corresponding positions. I have above the parallel line to the left of the transversal, above the parallel line to the left of the transversal. So let's write those out. I have angle A corresponds with angle E, angle C corresponds with angle G, angle B corresponds with angle F, and angle D corresponds with angle H. Alright, next, alternate interior angles are equal in measure. So if you look at alternate interior, alternate means alternating sides of the transversal and on the interior of the parallel lines. So alternating sides of the transversal and on the interior. That is like C and F, or D and E. So let's list those out. I have angle C and angle F are alternate interior, and then angle D and angle E are alternate interior. And then we have same side interior angles are supplementary. Okay, same side interior. It means on the same side of the parallel line, but on the inside. Same side of, the transversal, but the inside. So let's list those out. I have angle C plus angle E are supplementary. That'd be the measure of angle C and the measure of angle E. Then the measure of angle D and the measure of angle F are supplementary. Okay, one that they're not listing that may be on another slide, but I don't remember seeing it, is alternate exterior angles. That would be on alternating sides of the transversal on the exterior of the parallel line. Let's list those out. I have angle A and angle H, and then angle B and angle G. Okay, I'm going to go through these with you, and then the exercises, I'm going to have you try on your own. But we just have to recognize some things. So we're trying to find measures of angles. We need to know which lines are parallel and which lines the transversal. And then you can look on that back slide or look in your classwork to see what position these are in. These are in corresponding positions. So the measure of angle A is going to be 48. Here I have transversal parallel lines. Okay, these are inside, on the same side of the transversal, inside of the parallel lines. So here we have angle B plus plus 48 equals 180 because we know that they're supplementary. So subtract 48, 2, 3. Angle B is 132 degrees, and that would be a lowercase b. All right, what do we see here? I have alternate interior angles, so we know that they're congruent. And here I have alternate exterior, okay, which was the last bullet point that I wrote down, which isn't in your classwork. So those are 48 degrees. So alternate interior is on the interior of the parallel line, but alternate sides of the transversal. Alternate exterior, I have the exterior of the parallel lines, but alternating sides of the transversal. Okay, here we have the last example. So a blank is sometimes useful when solving for unknown angles. Okay, we'll fill that in, and it is auxiliary. Line. An auxiliary line is sometimes useful when solving for unknown angles. So in this figure over here, we can use the auxiliary line to find the measure of angle E and F. And then add the two measures together to find the measure of angle W. How does that work out? Okay, so we're going to use this auxiliary line because this auxiliary line is also going to be, let me get a red pen out. We have parallel, parallel, and parallel. So if we have an auxiliary line here, and this is 41 degrees, we know that this is 41 degrees because they're alternate interior angles. So parallel lines, transversal, alternate interior angles. So the measure of angle E is 41 degrees. I need to erase some stuff here. Got a little messy. Let's change to another color. I have a parallel line, and a transversal. Okay, these are alternate interior angles. So angle F is 35 degrees. And we know that angle W is angle E plus angle F, which equals 76 degrees. That was fun. All right, try some of these exercises on your own. I'm going to breeze through them and push pause. And if you can't figure out what I've done, that's where you need to star it, and we can talk about it the next day. Okay? So I'm going to push pause. Okay, check out the work. Star it if you're not sure what happened. Okay? I'm going to add one more thing. We really need to give reasons for our solutions, so hold on a second. Okay, there we go. I have vertical angles, alternate exterior angles, and consecutive interior angles. Okay, go ahead and push pause and try this one on your own. Okay, there you go, and there are my reasons. Push pause and go ahead and check them out. Okay, next, go ahead and push pause. Okay, there you go. One answer's in red and one answer's in green. Please make a note if you're not sure what happened. Okay, number 4, go ahead and push pause. I can tell that I'm going to need to extend some lines to figure some things out. So watch closely. Okay, there's that one. Go ahead and push pause and check out the answer. I had to draw in an auxiliary line, which is right there. Ah, go away. Sorry about that. But go ahead and push pause and check it out. Okay, looks like I'll need another auxiliary line, so try this one on your own. Okay, so I drew another auxiliary line. The drawing, it was very difficult to draw an auxiliary line for this one, but I hope the drawing makes sense. Moving on. Okay, go ahead and push pause. Okay, I tried to record this one for you just to look at, and it got too messy, so you're going to walk through this one with me. Here are my auxiliary lines, so this one's parallel to the one that I drew, and there's the transversal. So if this is 129, this is also 129, okay? But I can't draw that in there. And if that's 129 plus angle x, I don't know if you're going to be able to see my angle x though, equals 180 because it's a linear pair. This angle is 120 because, excuse me, they're corresponding. So angle x equals 765, nope, just 51 degrees. Okay? Now, I'm going to erase everything. So go ahead and push pause and make sure your paper says everything it needs to say. Oh, and it's not going to let me erase. Nope, it won't let me erase. So let's pick another color. I need a new, this is my auxiliary line, which I'm going to pair up with this one. And here's my transversal. So I'm actually going to redraw that right down here. Oh, for goodness sakes. Sorry. There we go. So I have a parallel line, the auxiliary line I drew. This is 177. That is given. And we need to label this one Y. And let's label this one, I don't know, Z. Let's find angle Z. 177 plus angle Z equals 180 because it's a linear pair. Angle Z equals 3 degrees. How is that even possible? Because it's 117. Score one, Shellhammer. 117. 117 subtracted from 180. It's going to be a bigger number. 63 degrees. So this is 63 degrees, therefore that's 63 degrees. So right here is 63 degrees. So 63 degrees plus x is going to be our final answer. And x is 51. 414 degrees. I will be glad to do that one on paper for you if you totally, did I say 144? 114, if that made no sense. See how these are getting more difficult with every problem that you try? Let's draw some auxiliary angles. So here's my parallel line, and here's my parallel line. I said let's draw some auxiliary angles. I meant auxiliary lines. There's my parallel line. I do know that this angle right here plus this whole angle is going to be supplementary. So 92 plus k plus 46 is 180 because they're consecutive interior angles, which are supplementary. So angle K equals 42 degrees. Let's erase that. Oh, and it won't let me. Great. Angle M. So let's look at this transversal right here. I guess with angle K, we looked at this transversal right here. With angle M, let's look at that one. But I need to erase what I just drew. There we go. So we have here and there alternate interiors. So angle M is 46 degrees because of alternate interior angles. And then angle J is over here, and that's going to be a linear pair, all of those angles together. Angle J plus angle K plus 46 degrees is all a linear pair. We already know what angle K is. So let's do some subtraction. 92 degrees. Nice work. Angle 15, I'm sorry, number 8, which we're on slide 15, if that even matters. Let's see, what can we do here? I have two parallel lines and a transversal. That means that this up here is 44 degrees. We actually can figure out that one, but you haven't learned how yet, so that's not helpful. This is also 37 degrees. Looks like we might need an auxiliary line. So these are all parallel to each other because I said so. Okay, so we know that this one is 44 degrees because we have alternate interior angles. And we know, let's see, this is 37 degrees because we have alternate interior angles. So angle N is going to be 37 plus 44. 7 plus 4 is 11. 4 plus 3 plus 1 is 8. So our reason are we used alternate interior angles. Twice, and an auxiliary line. Awesome. Number 9. See, we have 9 and 10 left. That's it. Yay! Okay, let's figure this out. Okay, why don't you try this one on your own? You may need to extend some lines. I'm going to move the picture a little bit. Okay, let's talk through this one. The first thing we see is I just extended these lines with a transversal, and these are in corresponding spots. So I got 94 degrees for Q, which is a corresponding angle. Oh, bummer. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to move the picture. Don't get dizzy. I'll move it back in a minute, if that makes sense. The second one I did, which is in black, I extended these lines and made the transversal. So 68 is right here because it's corresponding. Then all three of these angles are a linear pair, which I did 94 plus b plus 68 equals 180, and then solved for p. Let me erase that so I can move the picture back. There we go. Okay, good job. Last one. Okay, go ahead and push pause. Okay, here's a fun one. I drew an auxiliary line again, and here's my transversal. I'll go ahead and draw that in. No, that's messy. Let's not draw that in or erase it up here. There we go. So I have auxiliary line with a transversal. Alternate interior angles are equal, and then I have a linear pair between the 130 and the x. So 130 plus x equals 180. X equals 50. I'm going to draw that in right here. I know that this whole angle equals 96 because that's how it was originally written. So we have, back up a little bit, transversal, two parallel lines, alternate interior angles. So we know with 96 degrees, it's r plus x. So I did angle x plus angle r equals 96. We know that x equals 50 plus angle r is 96. Angle r equals 46 degrees. Nice work. Okay, last one. Oh, second to last one. Relevant vocabulary. Please just make sure you've read through these and you understand them. Okay, I have alternate interior angles. They're alternating sides of the transversal on the inside of the parallel lines. Then I have corresponding angles. Okay, all of these are corresponding. I'm just going to put dots because they're easier than arcs. Okay, all of them are corresponding, and corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, in closing, describe the conditions that tell us when a pair of lines cut by a transversal must be parallel. So a pair of lines cut by a transversal must be parallel when the corresponding angles are congruent. That's not a G. Or when the same side, we're going to call them consecutive interior. When the same side interior equals 180 degrees. Okay, that's what we learned today. Nice work.